and welcome to Hard Copy, the program where we bring you the people behind the news. I'm Maokbe Ogun. Well, last week, we focused on pensions, especially those under the defined benefit scheme of the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate with Mrs. Sharon Ikiazo, the Executive Secretary of PTAD. Now, we did get quite a bit of feedback, especially from our mailbox. Quite a number of you wanted to make inquiries about pension statuses. Well, we acknowledge these mails and have forwarded a number of them to PTAD for treatment. Please do keep us informed on the responses that you get. And for viewers watching us for the very first time, you too can be a part of the conversation we're holding tonight. Talk to us using hardcopy@channelstv.com or any of the handles showing on your screen. This evening, we turn our attention to state governments, the state of governance in the states, and the Nigeria Governors Forum. From the account of the Governors Forum itself, not much happened in it for the first 9 years after Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999. However, much of that changed in 2009 when it came under the leadership of Dr. Bukola Saraki, who is then governor of Kwara State. The NGF was then seen by the states as a tool to, quote, reassert themselves and exercise the level of independence that is the want of a true federation. According to them, it had also become necessary for them to regain their past glory of constituting a credible unit within the wider context of the federation, thereby removing the manifest distortion which militates against the realization of true federalism. End of quote. True federalism. That word has rent the air in recent times alongside calls for restructuring, with dwindling oil money, a growing debt profile, and a need to increase the internally generated revenue of states. How is the Nigeria Governors Forum achieving this mandate, which is much touted peer review mechanism? Joining me to discuss this and more tonight is Mr. Asishana Okauru, who is the Director General of the Nigeria Governors Forum. Well, Mr. Okauru, you're welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you.
Well, we once read in the heat of the politics, plaguing the Nigeria Governors Forum, then in the aftermath of the re-election of former Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Rotimi Amaechi, that the Governors Forum was nothing but a social club disturbing the peace. I'm sure you must have seen that. It was written by Mr. Olusegun Adeniyi, former presidential spokesman and also a columnist with This Day. Yeah. Do you agree with that description of the Nigeria Governors Forum? It's just a social club.
No, I do not.
Why?
The Nigerian Governors Forum is a very serious association. It's a collection of 36 democratically elected governors in the country involved in very serious matters of national interest. It's more than a social club. It's a policy hub.
Is the body now known to law?
Yes, it's registered on the Part C of the Companies and Allied Matters Act.
Is it an NGO or what precisely is it?
Yeah,
a profit-making company?
Yeah. Well, if you register a company under the under Part C of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, it's an NGO.
An NGO?
It's an NGO. It operates as an NGO. It's a not-for-profit organization.
How is the Secretariat funded? By dues paid from governors?
Well, yeah, basically there are 4 sources of funding. I mean, the one from the governors, they pay annual dues. We equally get money from development partners. There are dedicated programs we assign to states and get them to fund such projects. For instance, if there's a particular initiative of interest to, say, the governor of Sokoto State, and we put all that together, go to the state to fund and attract other interested stakeholders to that state. For that state, it's some kind of, it gives them visibility and an opportunity to benefit from best practices from other colleagues.
I'm just curious because some people will say that are they funding it with taxpayers' funds or are they funding it from their private pockets? That's the dues that the governors pay?
Yeah, they're funding it from the states.
From the states?
Yes.
So it means that the people in the states should be very interested in what is happening at the Nigeria Governors Forum.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it's a forum that brings a lot to the states. I mean, if you look at the kind of things the forum has been involved in over the past years, I mean, at every point, we think of the ordinary citizen in the state, and we stay focused on issues relevant to them and relevant to our principles.
Quite some people were wondering, just how much impact the Nigeria Governors Forum has had on their lives when you compare it with some of the controversies that have trailed it, and also some of the aftermath of what has come of the leadership. In some instances, they perceive that the Nigeria Governors Forum is nothing but a platform for governors to further their ambitions. And I think this came up, first of all, when I think the first governor who made it prominent, Dr. Bukola Saraki, ran for presidency shortly after leaving the forum as a chairman of Governors Forum.
The forum is made up of governors who are politicians. I mean, and of course, at every point, they're interested in securing some kind of political mileage. You can't take that away from them. I mean, but beyond that, I mean, there are very serious policy issues of interest to the governors day to day. I mean, and it's been possible over time to use the forum as the platform for helping them either deepen such issues or benefit from other states in trying to implement some of those policies. I mean, so I mean, for me, I've been around for quite some time, and I tell you that it's tough to stop a politician from using any opportunity to want to further his political ambition. That's very tough. I mean, you can't stop that. But again, they understand that to remain relevant, you have to connect yourself with the people you serve.
In the light of that, how much influence would you then say that the Secretariat wields on the Nigeria Governors Forum?
Oh, a lot. A lot. I mean, if the Secretariat were not relevant, I mean, you will not find governors, you will not experience the kind of things we're experiencing today. I mean, there's a lot of leverage within the Secretariat. Every time there's a program by the Secretariat, I mean, you're sure that the response level is usually above 80%. I mean, in terms of, there are a number of other things the Secretariat is involved in. In fact, if you look at the quality of people within the Secretariat, it tells you. I mean, so I mean, I'll tell you point blank that the Secretariat has played a major role in the activities of the various states.